coming to you live from an apartment in Hidalgo, Mexico. And as you would know, if you're following the last few days, we have a team of missionaries, and they're sitting right around on the other side of this desk because I am dealing with a computer and I'm going to help them. So you can have fun hearing anecdotes. You can also get to hear how God is working in their lives. And most importantly, you can also just send us questions, and I should be able to see them on our little system here, this wonderful computer, and you get to hear from them. So let me do this. I'm gonna turn it around, and you're gonna look at this handsome man right there. There you go. Listen, those are not my interactions. Oh, I got you. Look, I got you. So I have 3 questions for each one of you, and just so the camera can see this, it's gonna take a while, but I'm gonna go this way first. We have Brad, we have David, and yes, if Bill is watching, look, Bill, she's wearing her brace. That's Janice. Now let's go all the way across, zooming back. Look, there's David again, and then there's Brad. You can see my reflection right there because, that's how this rolls. There's Gail. Hi, Gail. There's beautiful Marcy, and look at there, handsome, wonderful. Right, come back. And there's wonderful, handsome Jim. So we're going to, no, he doesn't want to stay. You need to move. There you go. So, guys, I have one question, and we already have an audience for this live thing, so watch out. So here's what I would like for you to kind of answer. And the first question would be, and we can start with this side and go this way. Tell us about your experience so far in this part of the journey so far.
Well, I've got a couple things. All of us will probably speak to the challenge we had in getting from the hotel to the camp here as we went through downtown Mexico City, and there was a protest going on. We got to see the local militia come through, and there was about 10 or 12 vehicles that were armed and ready for taking on any. I thought there was bad guy stuff going on, but apparently it's political protest. But so that was an eventful 6-hour journey to get here to the camp. But the thing that stands out so far is just how really wonderful and kind, even though there's a language barrier, how wonderful and kind the Mexican people are. So that's been a huge plus. Not really unexpected because I've got plenty of Mexican friends, but it's just overflowing with just some love and great, very, very gracious and grateful that we're here to help them.
Okay. How about you, Marcy?
Well, it only cost us 100 pesos to bribe that gentleman to help us get through so that we weren't stopped by the police, and that made our adventure a little bit shorter than what it would have been. And I got to sit up front on the streets on the highway coming up this way, which was also an adventure for me because I don't typically sit up front in the cars. And the hotel was fabulous while we were in Mexico City, and the food has been excellent since we got here.
Except for the chicken feet today.
Yeah, I didn't want to try the chicken foot.
Not chicken legs, mind you. Chicken feet.
Yeah, there were some toes and claws.
Yeah. Yes, there were.
All right. How about you, Ms. Gail? Talk to us.
Well, I just think it's absolutely a beautiful place. I'm very impressed with the apartments, with the cleanliness of everything, and just the open joy that we're sharing with the other believers here. They live here, they work hard, and we're here to bless them and to love them. And even though we have the language barrier, we can still speak the same language. And that's the love of God. So that's really in a nutshell right now where I'm at. I'm at peace and very happy to be here.
Wonderful. Well, let me do this for those of you who are watching, and very slowly, I don't know why, but it does this. Here is Brad the man, and here's Brother David the younger. All right, gentlemen. So tell us about your experience so far right now.
Well, I mean, everything went great. Smooth flight, smooth transition into the country. We have all talked about the ride up here, which was a little bit lengthy, but interesting nonetheless. Never a dull moment. But really, I think the high thing is just seeing the people here and what they do. The extent of their outreach is pretty impressive. Between the Bible Institute and the camps and the retreats, it's pretty amazing. So I mean, it's good to see it in firsthand and to just appreciate them for all the things that they do. So it's been good.
Brother David?
Yeah, I've been impressed that there's so much going on here. I mean, it's kind of like a survivalist camp, a seminary, and a high school and early college, all packed into one. So people come here for all of those things. They learn a lot of practical things. As there's a lot of chickens being raised here. There's a pecan orchard. There's a cornfield, and so there's plenty of subsistence type agriculture and stuff like that, as well as a lot of learning in school, musical instruments getting practiced. So it's a little bit of everything.
Okay. And now let me see if I can do this. We're just doing this system for the first time, so bear with us because this is moving slowly. But look, she's coming into view, our one and only Janice. All right, Janice, tell us about your experience. And of course, you have the misfortune that you had an accident before you were supposed to come here without a neck brace. So how has that been for you? Because I'm sure that's part of your experience traveling with a team.
It's been very, very easy. I like my brace tight, so when I started coughing, we had to get my brace off real quick so I could breathe. But everybody's been great. Both sides, and I hate to say sides, are working so hard together in the communication and what needs to be done and getting it done and direction and everything. The guys are working on trusses for a pedestrian bridge, and the ladies have been mainly setting up the dorm, the boys' dorm, in painting it. And there must be maybe 10 rooms that need to be painted in this long dorm. The trip through Mexico City was very interesting. And our little guy, he would just open up all these barriers and let us in and close the barrier behind us. And that was kind of fun to watch him scurrying around and getting us through, or it would have been a lot longer.
Okay. Well, the second question, and we can start with you and then kind of pan around. Where do you see working as of right now, whether it's inside of you or through the team or the relationships? Where do you see at work at this process of the trip?
Where the Lord's working?
Yes.
I think a lot of it is just, we're as excited to be here as they are as excited to have us here. So, the language barrier has been brought up a couple of times because most of us, I don't think, speak Spanish, and then two of them are better, and Marcy's doing really good at it. And everybody's trying, just for the love of the Lord. We're serving them as much as they are serving us. The meals have been tremendous, so good. And they cook in there for us, and that's been a real high point, has been the meals served.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, let's go back this way. And slowly but surely coming into view, we have Brother David. So, Brother David, how do you see God at work at this stage of the trip?
Well, I think we're commanded to go out and bring the light of Christ into the world. And the other things that God asks of us are to pray and to read the Bible daily, to renew our minds. And I think missionary work does a lot of the renewing of your mind as well. In seeing how people live in other circumstances, you can see how perhaps I'm being petty in my own circumstances, or I'm more grateful for the things that I have and the gifts that God has given me. It opens your mind to just what you really actually need, as opposed to what you're used to, and lets you see the grace of people in a lot of different circumstances. So it's been interesting.
All right. How about you, Brother Brad?
I think it's just been reinforcing, not only in terms of how beautiful the gospel message is, because how it works around the world. It works in little tiny mountain communities in the middle of nowhere, down to the big cities, so the gospel covers everyone. But also here, you do get the sense of, for example, from the Boyers. I mean, they've been at this for 40 years.
Yeah.
Talk about servanthood. I mean, oh my gosh, it's been wonderful just to hear their stories about how things got built, how things got started, what's going on here, there, everywhere. We talked about stewardship and servanthood in one of our devotions, and it's just that's what you see. It's everywhere, and it's just so nice to see the dedication to effort that these folks have given to the work of the Lord.
It's good. Thank you for that. Let me move the camera around so you can now see, and we'll go to the first that now are last, but then we'll have another round of questions. Gail, how about you?
Well, I just love the families that are here. I watch these little children and the joy that they have. I watch the unity amongst all of the families that are here. And I am just so blessed with this little 10-year-old, well, he'll be 11 tomorrow, who comes in where we're painting and we're scraping and we're sweating. Can I help? What can I do to help? And so little Dario has stolen my heart. He's, like I said, going to be 11. And that's all the children. They're just so willing to serve and to whatever we need. And big smiles everywhere in the families. They love being here. And I just find the joy in the children just incredible. Of course, the adults too. But I'm a children's minister, and the children, they wrench my heart. I asked Dario's daddy if I could have him. He said no.
It's hard when you have good children. That's all I have to say to that. How about you, Marcy?
Well, I feel the Lord working all the time. And so during this trip, I think for me, it's been great to see our relationships grow with one another and the camaraderie that we have. And before this live started, we were laughing and joking and playing. And, but also kind of a combination of what the gentleman said over here, that the church is universal in nature, and there are so many differences, but yet there are so many similarities with the gospel message and the love that we have for one another, even though we do have the language barrier. I mean, we were praying the other night, and the thought came to me that we're going to spend eternity with these people. And so what a privilege and a joy it is to get to meet them before eternity and to serve them and to allow them, like you said, to serve us in the joy and just the happiness that they have with us being here, in addition to us being able to serve them while we're here. So, I mean, they will be eternal friendships.
Yes.
Right? And in heaven, we'll be able to understand one another.
Wonderful. Jim, what about you?
Yeah, I'll just echo what's been said. What Marcy just said. Last night we took a couple of laptops down to the group here in the ministry, and one of the ladies prayed, and I didn't understand what she was saying, but you felt it.
The Spirit knows.
So that's powerful, and just like what Marcy said too. In heaven, we're gonna be able to understand them and their brothers and sisters, right?
Yeah.
So it's powerful. The kids, massive impact. These kids are so well mannered, willing to help, and the parents are doing such an awesome job of teaching them manners. I wish a lot of that would have made our northern part of this continent. What Brad mentioned, such an impactful thing. What Ken and Sandra have done, 40 years, and this is not touching on what David said too. This is not an easy lifestyle.
No.
And they have made a massive impact for the Lord. And this is really to just kind of a little bit more, and I'll shut up.
You're fine. You're fine.
We are not able really here in this environment to disciple per se. We're not sharing the gospel because these people, for the most part, are believers. But what we're doing is making this facility more compatible for 250 kids coming in here in a couple of weeks, that the environment is set and a much more great situation to spread the gospel. So, that's, Matthew 28 tells us to go out, but we don't have to be the ones actually telling people about Jesus Christ, even though we should when those opportunities come. But we're here to help them foster that ability in the rest of the summer for this group here. That's the way I see it.
Lead in for the next question.
That's a wonderful lead in to the next question. So the final question that I would have for those who are listening, and we do have an audience, so that's good. Thank you for joining us. Why, as you're right now in the middle of the mission field, and no, we're not doing what most people think of missions, like you don't have a bullhorn, you're not preaching in some corner of Mexico City, and you're not just preaching boldly or teaching boldly, but you are serving. And so the question that I have for each one of you would be, why is it important for a healthy Bible-believing church to be involved in missions? Yes, we know the Bible commands us that, right? Acts 1:8, Matthew. Okay, I don't want to reach it. I think it's 28:16-20. Yeah, that's the right citation. So the Great Commission tells us that. But why is it important, as you're in the middle of it, for a church to send out missionaries, whether it's next door, when we're back in New Mexico, or to go to the country next door, in this case, Mexico, or maybe even overseas, like Gail has gone with other churches and ministries to Asia and other countries in that region. So why is it important? Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I think getting out of your comfort zone is a really good thing, because you put yourself in a position to trust the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've done mission stuff, but it wasn't out of my comfort zone. It was going to northern New Mexico with Native Americans and different Native American events, but it wasn't like coming down here. So I think once you step out of your comfort zone, and just recognize we serve a big God and He's always at work. That's what I got from that one. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Ms. Marcy, Ms. Gail?
Well, I think for me, multi reasons, but it's important to support the missionaries that we have, right? So going on a mission like we are now and supporting missionaries so that they can better serve the community that they serve is helpful, right? We're the body, and we all have different capabilities and abilities, and so to come alongside and partner with other missionaries so that they can either have rest or so that they can get specific projects done or what have you, so that they can continue to serve and sacrifice. And I agree, getting out of your comfort zone is huge. I mean, we are really accustomed to being comfortable, and we have so many wonderful amenities. And so it's, for me, great to see how other people live and serve and love one another.
Love it. Miss Gail.
Going on missions, getting out of your comfort zone, trusting God, walking by faith, putting it all into action. It's so beautiful. And God always shows up. He always reveals something to you. But I think we've had 3 devotionals amongst us, and each and every one of us, I learned something new. I grew closer to my comrades, and I just think when you step out, when you walk in faith, God's here with you always. Like Marcy said earlier, I'm always thinking about God or walking with God, but it just dropping everything to say, whatever I can do to help you, whatever I can do, my brother, my sister, my little child, that smile I can give. God just moves in so many ways, and it's out of your comfort zone, because at home you know what to expect, and here I'm like, I know God's going to do something huge because He always does on a missions. So that's I think it's important. I think it's important to walk out in that faith and that trust.
Love it. All right. Slowly but surely, we're coming to Mr. Brad.
So for the church, it's a healthy thing because it expands the level of experience of the body, for one. It gets people to understand the reality of places outside of our little zone. It basically puts rubber to the road, or meat on the bone, if you will, for people to understand what it truly means when you have to bring the gospel message to some place that may not even have heard it before. Now, granted, that's not here, but it allows the church to grow because people have real world experiences. And so, like, Gail's been all over the world, so have other people, and it adds to the body, because people can come and explain things and give details of experiences, and it just makes the whole mission or Great Commission that much more real. So that's why it's healthy for the church, because it just basically spreads experience and gets people, more and more people involved into the actual outreach and what it really means and what it can really do around the world.
Yeah. All right, brother. Go ahead, Brother David. Hey, come back. Why are you focusing on him? No, the camera has a mind of its own. Go ahead.
So one of my favorite parables is when Jesus said, a farmer goes out and plants seed overnight, and he waters it, and it grows. He knows not how, and he patiently waits until the harvest. And I think what missions and ministry opportunities like this offer are fresh growth from God. I mean, this is the part we don't understand, but God uses this to change our hearts and minds and bring us closer to Him. So, it's an integral part. It's easy to send money somewhere and know that you're doing good work for God, but it's another thing to participate in it and to, become more attached to it emotionally. And so I think, it's important to be there and be part of it, and not just stand at an arm's length. And, it really does have an effect on you.
I like that. Get your hands a little dirty. All right, and last but certainly not least, Miss Janice.
As tired as you get on a mission trip, I think when you go home, you're revitalized, and hopefully your excitement will go throughout the members of your church, and others will then seek a mission trip, and whether it's in that evangelizing or it's a working mission, then they will become more excited to participate and go on the next one.
I like that. But let me reset this. And now it's going to come back. Oh, I like the way this is. So thank you very much. And I'm just going to use this to kind of pan around to all the different people in the room because I'm using a new setup for travel. And I hope that back home you will be praying for these wonderful men, women who you see on camera, and that you would remember that we are here all the way through the 12th of this month. So we have another, 7 days? 8 days? So pray for us and do us a favor as you think of things. Vista Grande Church has always been a church that thrives based on what I've been learning for a little over a year, that thrives in obeying the Lord joyfully, and a church that thrives upon the teaching of the word without compromise. And so I would ask you, our wonderful viewers, and those that will probably watch the recorded version of this, pray that we would never let the pulpit grow cold, and that the people who have the ministry of teaching and preaching and discipleship, and even especially with music, that they would seek to honor God and not honor themselves, that we would always have Christ front and center. With that being said, we thank you for joining us. And again, here's Jim, and there's Marcy and Gail. And then over here, I don't know why the camera is wanting to do its own thing, but I'm going to force it to follow me. There you have Brad and David, and see, he wants to keep moving. See, I told you, if you get motion sickness, still you can talk to Brad. Inside joke. And there's Janice. Listen, may God bless you. Please keep praying for us, and we will keep you posted. If there were any kinks to this particular recording live stream, please know I will work to work those out. Thank you for your patience, because this is the first time we set it up like this. And to Marcy's point, we will probably look forward to having a podcast of some sort on a regular basis. God bless you, and we'll see you soon. Please stay tuned for another video sometime down the line from this particular channel and this particular mission. We love you guys. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Adios.
Adios.